experience shortness of breath, whether it's running after the dog, climbing steps, or walking to the refrigerator. But for many people, just taking a breath is a daily struggle. In fact, more than 12 million Americans suffer from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. But a new technology is helping patients breathe a little easier. I recently caught up with David Shockley with Inova Labs, who told us about LifeChoice. We're starting to see lots of commercials saying, do you suffer from COPD? So obviously a big problem in America.
It is. There's nearly 2 million Americans on oxygen just through Medicare alone right now in America.
Wow. Okay, you are an entrepreneur and inventor, but this particular device that we're about to see is something that came to you with a little more passion, if you will, because you saw someone in your family struggle with needing oxygen. This tank, in fact, right over here, not the one we're looking at, but this one right over here, was your grandfather's?
It was. My grandfather was in Houston. He passed about 25 years ago, and this was the oxygen tank that he used up to his last days. It's all that was available 25 years ago. There were no other choices then.
Yeah, and of course, the tough thing with that, I know, one, it's heavy.
It's very heavy. It's upwards of 50 pounds when it's full of oxygen. And of course, the worst part is it eventually runs out. It's a tank. It's going to go dry.
Okay, so you set forth to invent something that would be a lot easier for people to use.
Exactly.
It's this right here, and explain the differences between something like this outside of the convenience of being much lighter.
Right. What we set out to do with the LifeChoice is to create a product that, first of all, would endlessly make oxygen. So you never have to worry about gauges or running out of oxygen.
That's
incredible. That was the first thing. The second thing was you should be able to carry it. The other problem with my grandfather, and I used to go have to help him just get in and out of the car, just to go to the grocery store. He couldn't lift it. So we wanted something you could carry. Also, though, you want something where the patient and the person can go out and not be stared at. And not be looked at as, oh, they're dragging some tank. It's something very discreet. This product is designed to actually be run in the case at all times. So no one hardly ever notices it.
That's amazing, because now you can go anywhere. And speaking of going anywhere, there was a patient that you were going to have who uses this that was going to be here today.
Correct.
She had to call you and say, ooh, too bad. Because?
She has a job and is able to go to work with our product. And so that's very exciting.
Yeah, because before...
It's difficult.
She really couldn't.
Very difficult to pull tanks around.
Other unique features, which I think the number one is that you don't run out of oxygen.
That's right.
Which is incredible. The other is it has sleep mode technology. What do you mean by that?
Oh, very interesting. What we developed at the company at Inova Labs was a product that you can sleep with it. And with a lot of small concentrators, you can't sleep with them overnight. So if you go visit your grandchildren, you can't stay there. So that was the problem. You need to be able to sleep with it. So with sleep mode, it's very sensitive at night and it works well.
Yeah, and quiet.
It's extremely quiet. It's less than 5 pounds. It runs on an internal battery for over 2 hours, an external battery for another 3+ hours. It runs on AC, DC. Plug it in your RV and go. Yeah,
you know what? And I remember during Hurricane Ike, when everything shut down, people who were on oxygen, EMS workers were running out going, oh my gosh, these people are running out of, they can't go any place to get their oxygen. This is a lifesaver right here.
Absolutely, because they can go plug it in their car. They can have the extended batteries. They don't have to live in fear.
Yeah, okay. So how can people access this?
The easiest way is, very typically, people are getting this through Medicare or private insurance. So typically, it's of little to no cost to the patient based on their qualifications and eligibility.
Okay. And an air concentrator, I think you mentioned something about that earlier. What does that mean exactly?
What an oxygen concentrator does and what the LifeChoice does, it takes the room air that you and I are breathing right now and it concentrates it and purifies it to pure oxygen. So every time you breathe, it puts a pulse of oxygen into your nose and you have endless oxygen.
Okay, and people, when they come in to ask about this, they need to ask by name.
You have to ask by name. If you don't, the problem is, for instance, when my grandfather had COPD, which is everything from emphysema, asthma, chronic bronchitis, lots of different conditions is what
things that
COPD
make it hard to breathe.
Exactly. You didn't have a choice. Now you have a choice. But here's the problem. If you go home with the wrong piece of equipment that doesn't fit you, the Medicare guidelines, you're locked in for 5 years. I mean, with your cell phone, you're only locked in for 18 months. With oxygen, 5 years. So you have to ask for it by name and say, I want the LifeChoice. The doctor is happy to write it by name brand because they want you to keep walking. They want you to still visit your family, stay active. It's what keeps you healthier.
Yeah, so LifeChoice, LifeChoice, LifeChoice.
Absolutely.
And the cool thing, as you mentioned earlier, it slips inside this little bag
right here. Inside this little case. And the way we did this is we wanted it to be very discreet, so we didn't want it...
And actually cool looking. It can be a video camera. It can be anything in there.
So you slip it in the case. And at that point, the patient is able to carry this. It's designed to be run in the case, so they can carry it with the briefcase handle, but they can also unsnap the briefcase handle very quickly, add a shoulder strap, and now it's perfect to carry on your shoulder. Or you put a second strap here and here, and it's a backpack, and you wear it on both shoulders.
All right, so
we have people that play golf now with it.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Go on cruises, play golf, do all that stuff, because before, dragging that along.
No, and again, going back to my grandfather, his life sort of ended with this tank. He never wanted to go anywhere. Yeah. Now, do whatever you want to do. Travel, play golf, go fishing. Yeah. Do whatever you want to do.
Well, we know he's up there smiling down on you going, say,
I appreciate
that's my grandkid.
Thank you, Deborah.
All right, thank you very much. If you want to purchase the LifeChoice unit here locally, you can get it from XMed Oxygen and Medical Equipment. For more information, you can log on to lifechoice.com or call the toll-free number. It's 877-490-3339, 877-490-3339. Coming up, your loved one's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Now what? We'll explore a more comforting alternative to care when we return.